Today we're going to talk about North Bethesda, Maryland. And I know what you're thinking. North Bethesda? There's a place called North Bethesda? All right, North Bethesda is actually a big joke here with the locals. If you live in the DC area, you probably know why it's a joke, but I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to tell you today about the secret Tower Oaks Lodge, as well as everything else that you need to know about the community of North Bethesda, Maryland. So I'm Melissa Terzis, DC Real Estate Mama, and I do these videos every week. I break down living in DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. I've lived here for over 20 years, and so I know these areas. I go deeper than anybody. I want you to make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss the new videos. Let's dive into North Bethesda. So North Bethesda is a CDP, or what they call a census designated place. Just as a reminder, we've done this in other videos, but CDPs can have fluid boundaries. Generally, if we're talking about the boundary of North Bethesda, it is going to be the triangular area that is created by the DC Beltway and then the two spurs of 270, as well as the area east of 270 with Montrose Road as the northern border and then Rock Creek Park on the east. That's if you believe a map. I don't necessarily agree that the boundary goes all the way to Rock Creek Park. On the eastern side of 355, which is also known as Rockville Pike, Frederick Road, it's Wisconsin Avenue if you're down in DC, and then in Bethesda, that's like your major thoroughfare there. And there's a small area to the east that belongs to this like really strange non-contiguous part of Kensington. And then many of the homes that are considered Rockville there have Rockville mailing addresses. And then also Garrett Park, which like other parts fall into Garrett Park. So I'm just going to say that North Bethesda's eastern boundary, in my opinion, actually goes to Rockville Pike and no farther than that. So North Bethesda is also home to many government agencies, as well as being the headquarters for Lockheed Martin, host hotels and resorts, and several large nonprofits. The red line of our metro system runs right through here from Bethesda to Rockville, and it has a stop in North Bethesda. So see, it really is a thing, you guys. Let's talk about the real estate that you can find in North Bethesda. There is really such a mix of homes here. You're going to have everything from apartments and condos to townhomes, and then there's single family homes as well. Condos here can start in the mid $100,000, which is really like very good price, right? But that's going to be for like an efficiency unit. And then the prices are going to run to the $600,000 for the 2 bedrooms. Now the condos are either going to be in high-rise buildings, so many of which are probably going to have some pretty amazing views, or they might be garden-style homes. Now let's do the average for all prices of condos. So if you take everything from efficiency all the way to 2-bedroom, the average price for condos here is $350,000. The median price is $295,000. So I know for some people coming from other areas, you might say, good Lord, like we can get a whole house for that. I know, but this is actually a really good price here, you guys. Townhomes can cost anywhere from the $700,000 to $1.5 million. The average price of townhomes sold in the last 6 months is $1.035 million, and the median price of all the townhomes last 6 months, $920,000. There have been some new townhome communities here as well, so it's not all like old housing supply in North Bethesda. You can get new houses here, and there are builders who are putting up new townhomes. It's not super common, but there are a few communities. Now, single-family homes can start in the low $1 million range, and they're going to run well into the $2 millions. Many of the townhomes and single-family homes are actually brand new. Like I said, they like either a community builders come in and made a new community, or they've been torn down and like a house has been torn down and rebuilt. Average price for single-family detached homes is $1.4 million, and then the median is $1.3 million. Now, the oldest homes that you're going to find in North Bethesda are like the 1950s ranchers. Some of them still exist, but North Bethesda has been like an unbelievable hotbed of real estate development. In the last year alone, I pulled all these figures together because I wanted to actually understand how much of North Bethesda is consistently getting torn down and rebuilt. 22% of all sales in North Bethesda have been single family homes that were built in the year 2020 or later, right? So that's a lot because there's definitely been a lot happening here over the years. is anything like fun to do here? Are there parks or anything like that? Well, there are. So in North Bethesda, Pinstripes has a huge location in Pike and Rose. There's bowling and bocce ball plus some really, really good food. Pike and Rose is an area we're going to come back to and talk about quite a bit. It's basically like a planned urban development where they've got like restaurant and retail and living and all of that sort of combined in one place to create what I would say is like the downtown of North Bethesda. You also have Strathmore here, which is a music and arts center that offers shows and programs. They have free concerts on their lawn on Wednesdays, as well as year-round programming with music and art exhibits. We've actually seen some stuff with the kids here. There's also, back to Pike and Rose, there's an escape room there. It's called Escapeology. I love doing escape rooms, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know why, because it's like, for me, the gift that slaps me in the face. I can never get out of them. It just seems so obscure what you're supposed to come up with. It doesn't stop me from trying, though. I mean, if they didn't limit to an hour, I'd probably be locked in some escape room still to this day, because I can never figure it out. Now, I would love to discuss the Kennedy Shriver Recreation Center with you, but they have a pool and it's closing this year for a renovation. So we're going to have to table that for a bit. It's going to end up in an updated video at some point in the future. Kennedy Shriver Recreation is actually within Wall Local Park. So, but because of the renovation, all you can really use right now is actually the playground. But that will be coming back online after the reno. There's also Wildwood Manor Pool. That's a membership-based pool. You can also head to one of the parks in North Bethesda. You've got Fleming Local Park and Timberlawn, which they've got sports fields and a playground. Tilden Woods has a playground, as does Stratton Local Park. And then Wells Neighborhood Park and Druid Drive Neighborhood Park are also there. White Flint Park is in this tiny area within North Bethesda that has a Kensington mailing address, which is kind of funny. But don't let that fool you. I still believe it's North Bethesda. I don't know why there's like a little square of houses here that are called Kensington. It's like the strangest thing in the world. So is this a good area for family and kids? Well, you're really close to the city, right? So this puts commuting within a really good range for, parents who might be commuting downtown or even to the business areas in Bethesda. Public schools here are pretty well rated. You've got Walter Johnson, which is being the main high school that serves North Bethesda. There's Littletown Children's Museum in North Bethesda too. This is an indoor play space with 16 different rooms that your kids can explore. They have a mock grocery store, a fire station, a restaurant, and a gym, among other rooms that kids can sort of meander in and out of and play different games and things like that with their friends, their siblings. Now, remember we talked about Strathmore and they've got their Wednesday concerts on the lawn. Well, they also have concerts for kids on Thursdays in the summer as well. They also have a children's chorus with 5 different ensembles offering options for various levels of experience if your kiddo wanted to join that. Nearby in Bethesda, you also have a whole host of other options. There's the YMCA, which has a very robust gymnastics program, as well as other sports and classes. Imagination Stage is in Bethesda. That's a really, really huge place that people go to. They offer dance and theater classes. Glen Echo Park also has classes and camps in arts, dance, music, and then there's also an aquarium there as well. Now, Cabin John Regional Park is one of Bethesda's most popular parks. The park has plenty of ballparks and courts and summertime indoor ice skating at the Cabin John Ice Rink. There is also great playground there for kids and miles of hiking and a train to ride. And I've done that with the kids too, which is kind of fun. There's a lot of good stuff there. If that is not enough, there is Bolero Bethesda, which has 34 bowling lanes. So yes, this is a fun area. It offers a lot for families. It offers a lot for the kiddos. Really, really good stuff. You probably want to know about food, right? Because you got hungry doing all of that stuff. Well, there's 2 main locations here in North Bethesda for restaurants. You're going to find many are along 355 or Rockville Pike. You actually are going to see a pretty heavy Asian food influence here with a lot of hot pot and ramen restaurants. There's the other area that you're going to find restaurants is in the Pike and Rose development, where Rockville Pike actually intersects with Old Georgetown. In there, you've got Fogo de Chao, which is Brazilian. It's that place where you put the card down and they just keep bringing you food until you say, stop, no more. I cannot do it anymore. I cannot eat possibly any more meat and other deliciousness. It's not delicious for me. I don't eat meat. But anyway, people love it. There's Nando's, Peri Peri, and then there's a mix of other restaurants in Pike and Rose as well. Other places to find restaurants. Piccolo Piatti is in the Wildwood Shopping Center. They've got some of the best pizza in the area, as people like to say. And then you aren't just limited to what's in North Bethesda. You've got Rockville to the north, Bethesda to the south, and both of those areas have tons and tons of restaurants. Now, just more north of Montrose Road is one of my homes away from home, Tower Oaks Lodge. This is part of the local Clyde's chain here. Tower Oaks Lodge is so awesome. It's got the best decor, they've got the best food, and then if you find yourself in the back bar where I used to find myself in many of my single weekend evenings when I was single girl and all that, hanging with my friends, they've got these canoes hanging up there, and it's very, very kitschy, but here's a little secret. If you actually get up and look in those canoes, I haven't, but I know people who have, they are filled with the bras from patrons past. I know, it's really wild and crazy. So that's why the canoes are upright instead of facing down. All right, there's also farmers markets. In addition to 4 farmers markets in Bethesda, you've got the Pike Central Farm Market that's open on Saturdays from 9 to 1:30. Grocery stores here include everything. Giant, Whole Foods, Harris Teeter, Target Grocery, Aldi, Mom's Organic, Rodman's, which is a local chain, Balducci's, and Trader Joe's, and then Fresh Market are just over the North Bethesda border with Rockville. So something else that's really fascinating to know is that this area has a lot of specialized grocery stores. There is a Russian grocery store, there's an Indian grocery store, and there's a Mediterranean grocery store all within reach here in North Bethesda. Do you have doggies? I have doggies. So the Cabin John Park has a dog park there. That is a pretty popular dog park. If you don't want to do that, you can actually head to Bark Social and get a beer or a coffee while your pup plays in their fenced-in dog park. There's also a nearby dog park in Kensington, as well as trails in Rock Creek. You've also got the CNO, which is the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Path, which goes along the Potomac River. You'd have to leash your babies, but you can still, people do that. They walk, run, take their dogs along there. So I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, this all sounds fantastic. But at the beginning of this video, Melissa, you said that North Bethesda is a joke among the locals. Okay, it is. So locally, I mean, kind of a joke, all right? Do you know how no matter where you are, if somebody plays Sweet Caroline, everybody within earshot has to scream after it, and they go, Sweet Caroline, and then everyone goes, bum, bum, bum. It's like, I wish once in my life I could just go somewhere, have that stupid song come on, and not have people annoyingly sing that. It's just never gonna happen. Okay, it's like that whenever you mention anything about North Bethesda. Somebody's always going to try to correct you and sort of say, you mean Rockville, don't you? And now you can tell them to shut it, because you know what? North Bethesda is real, party people. It's been real since the 1970s when Montgomery County defined the boundaries in the North Bethesda Master Plan. So now you can tell them that you learned all about it here first. North Bethesda, it's a real place on the map. It has real-ish boundaries because CDPs have somewhat fluid boundaries. That's why I argue with the Rock Creek eastern boundary. I don't really think that's real. I say it's more at 355, which is Rockville Pike. But you can tell them that you learned all about North Bethesda here, and it's a great place to live and convenient to so much stuff. So I'm Melissa Terz, this DC Real Estate Mama, and if you want to talk about North Bethesda or anything real estate related in the DC area, my contact info is coming next.